Research has shown that in 2019, 50% of farmers in Nigeria were growing maize, followed by cassava and then sorghum. According to Food and Agricultural Organization's data, Nigeria produced 10.5 million metric tons of maize in 2017. The choice of farmers to grow maize is not by accident. Maize thrives everywhere in the country and has a short maturity cycle. The Institute for Agricultural Research IAR is carrying out a lot of research into increasing maize production and productivity in Nigeria. In this episode of the program, we're focusing on the impacts of the IAR on maize and other cereal crops in Nigeria. My name is Ibrahim Yusuf. Keep watching. The program starts with news from the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. In our lineup, Agric Ministry pledges support for malaria eradication project. Also in the news, NALDA inspects 100 hectares farm estate in Kwara. Details will come your way shortly. In a bid to boost the production of anti-malarial drugs in Nigeria, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has pledged to support AZ Biotechnology Limited to enhance mass production of Artemisia in Nigeria, a crop that is used for the production of anti-malarial drugs globally. Speaking during a courtesy visit to the ministry by a team of researchers from AZ Biotechnology Limited, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Ernest Afolabi Umahihe, said that having realized that Artemisia is effective in the production of anti-malarial drugs, the ministry would strengthen collaboration with AZ Biotechnology to prevent capital flight by promoting domestic production of the crop and other needed support.
Over time, we know what malaria has caused for the country in terms of e-health and people deaths, and what that means to our economy. You've talked of importation of malaria drugs, and you can imagine if all that 175 billion is being retained back in the country and goes into production, generates a lot of income, and of course the effect on economic growth of the country. So I can tell you that right away we are ready to enter into this partnership.
Earlier on, Professor Chike Isi Ogbonna, the team leader of AZ Biotechnology Limited, extolled the efficacy of Artemisia in the treatment of malaria, diabetes and cancer, and how Nigeria spends billions of naira yearly on anti-malarial drugs produced in other countries. He sought for the ministry's support on malaria eradication in Nigeria through the production of Artemisia.
If we were to produce this drug, malaria drugs, in Nigeria, we will spend 11 point something billion. That's one regime of treatment, leaving us with a net, that is a gain of 164 point something million, which could be channeled into other developmental areas.
The National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, recently inspected its ongoing farm project on 100 hectares of land donated to the federal government for the NALDA Farm Estate in the Agbeyangi community in Ilorin, Kwara State. The Executive Secretary of NALDA, Prince Paul Ikone, while inspecting the project in the state, said the target is to engage over 2,000 farmers in crop production and animal husbandry. Ikone said the project was a confirmation of the commitment of the federal government to provide employment and ensure food security under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. Ikone assured residents of the community that the project will be one of the biggest in the country in terms of cultivation of yam, cassava and maize. He added that the project will also make provision for rearing, processing and packaging of goats, rabbits and grass cutters. Do you know that the type of seed you plant in your farm determines the output you will get? The Institute for Agricultural Research has over the years developed high-yielding disease-free pests and drought-tolerant varieties of cereal crops in Nigeria. In our next segment, Records of the FDA will unfold the milestone researches of the Institute for Agricultural Research on cereals crops in Nigeria. Keep watching.
Cereal crops are mostly grasses cultivated for their edible seeds. The popular cereal crops in Nigeria include maize, sorghum, rice, millet, and wheat. The Institute for Agricultural Research IAR has the mandate to research into the genetic improvement of cereal crops. In this regard, the Institute has developed over 60 varieties of maize and over 50 varieties of sorghum, among others.
In the area of maize, we have developed maize varieties that whose productivity increased from some 30 years back, virtually 1.5 tons per hectare on the average or less. Now we have maize varieties that can produce up to 8 tons per hectare. This has been an achievement. In terms of sorghum, we are able to more than double productivity of sorghum from less than 1 ton per hectare to over 2 tons per hectare of sorghum. We have also cut down the maturity period of sorghum. Now, sorghum can grow almost everywhere. The same thing with maize. We have developed extra early maize varieties that can grow even in the drier part of Nigeria.
Aside high-yielding varieties of maize, sorghum, as well as other cereal crops, the Institute has also made lots of problem-solving researches that increase the vitamin content of these crops. IAR varieties of cereal crops are also resistant to striga weed. Striga weed is a parasitic weed that is very devastating to soil, which attaches itself to cereal crops and absorbs the nutrient, causing poor yield.
Some of them are streak resistant, so you are in an ecological zone that streak virus is endemic. You go for that. We have striga resistant, and we know striga is a major problem of cereals production worldwide, not only in Nigeria. So those resistant varieties to striga have helped in increasing the yield from such heavily infested fields. And so in that way, we are helping in reducing the problems our farmers face.
Before IAR releases any improved seed, quite a lot of research would have gone into it. The Crop Protection Department of the Institute has an insect laboratory. In this laboratory, different families of insects are grown and inflicted on the on-station farm to test the resistance of the variety to pests and diseases.
Normally, if we want to produce insects for a certain project, we'll have to get detail of that project, especially the area of planting. We want to know when you are going to plant your lines. Like the stem borer, if you want to get first instar larvae, which is the neonates, it will take around 45 to 50 days before you get it. And normally we use the larvae, the first instar, the one that hatched that very day. You take it to the field and infest on the sorghum or maize.
Aside the insect rearing laboratory, the Institute also has mycotoxins and pesticides laboratory to ensure that the seed varieties produced by IAR are not harmful for human consumption.
Coming down to human being, this metabolite is very harmful to human being to an extent that some of them are termed carcinogenic. They cause cancer and so many other things. If we are very conversant with the trend of trade, some years back, some of our products were being rejected in the international market. It was not as a result of anything but excessive lots of this aflatoxin. So this lab is targeted at looking at the quantities of this aflatoxin in some of our products.
The Institute for Agricultural Research does not only carry out research in the laboratory, but also engages on trials on on-station farms to ensure that its crops varieties are not half-baked, but tested and trusted. The on-station farm of IAR also avails the Institute a trial farming system and the best practices in order to make recommendations to farmers. A visit to the on-station farm of the Institute reveals 3 major farming systems of maize. These include conventional tillage and fertilizer system, minimum tillage and fertilizer system, and the no tillage but with fertilizer system. Conventional tillage farming system practice is a farming system where the farmer plows the land, harrows and ridges before planting. Some researchers are of the view that it has some disadvantages and recommend minimum tillage or no tillage practices.
When you say conservation tillage is where you either reduce the amount of operations, tillage operations on your farm, and where you can also add some organic fertilizer to your soil so that you can enrich the soil. You enrich the soil in terms of the diversity of microorganisms, in terms of the physical and the chemical fertility quality. So these are some advantages of this conservation agriculture.
Another trial that is ongoing on this farm is the treatment practice in terms of fertilizer application to different varieties of seeds developed by the Institute and the different tillage and no tillage system.
In the first plot there, we have the conventional tillage where we plow, we now harrow and we ridge. This plot here, from here down with the different treatments, is where there is no till. You can even see the ground, there is no ridges there. It is only to apply herbicide, kill the weeds at the beginning and just plant your seed, and that's all. And this has been going on for the past 5 years. This soil has not been tilted in any way. And then the last plot over there is the minimum tillage. When we say minimum tillage, the plot were just harrowed just once. It was just harrowed, one pass with the tractor. And then we use oxen drone, animal drone ridger to bring out the ridges.
Another interesting farming system is double density. It is a system of farming in which a farmer plants 2 rows of a crop on same ridge. This system indeed boosts production of maize and other crops of the farmer.
Just an example. When you're expecting 100,000 stands per hectare of maize in 1 hectare, when you adopt the double row or double density, it means you're going to have double the number of stands, the population of the maize per hectare. That means you have 200,000 stands per hectare. What that means is that the farmer who does this is going to see a difference in the yield. This has been subjected to research, and the difference between 100,000 plants and 200,000 plants is very significant. What that aims to do is to improve the productivity of the farmer.
The Institute for Agricultural Research has done a lot in cereal crops research, and more can still be done if partnership and collaboration is strengthened between IAR and other relevant stakeholders, be it farmers, development partners, public or private sector. In our next segment, Partnership for Development, we will examine the level of partnership between IAR and other stakeholders and the need for partnership to ensure that research findings are properly communicated to farmers for more productivity of the cereal crops.
The Institute for Agricultural Research is not only in the business of genetic improvement of cereal crops, but also working assiduously in multiplying these foundation seeds to meet the needs of farmers. 2 ways of multiplying these seeds are the on-station managed seed production and the outgrower managed seed production. The on-station seed production is the seed production that is directly produced by IAR in collaboration with the National Seed Council.
We multiply seed of maize, sorghum, cowpea, groundnuts, soybeans, sunflower. So each of these crops have a particular crop officer that manage each crop under the supervision of National Seed Council.
Due to the enormous demands for seeds by farmers, the Institute for Agricultural Research cannot do it alone. It therefore engages the outgrowers, who are private farmers, to produce more seeds.
The outgrowers are selected based on their experience and expertise. We select them based on their experience and expertise. Then we go further to know their capability. Then we give them seeds to multiply under the supervision of the seed unit as well as the National Seed Council.
Worthy of note in the milestone efforts of IAR is that different improved maize and other cereal crop seeds of the Institute have been tested to be effective in different ecological or geographic zones of the country. If you are a farmer in Southwest, South-South, Southeast, North Central, Northeast, or the Northwest, there is a specific variety for your zone.
Some maize 18, which is an extra early maize, is suitable for the states, the Sahelo-Sudanese ecology, where they usually have a very short rainy season, like the northern part of Kaduna State, Kano State, Katsina, while some maize, I think 54, 54, is late, which we usually would recommend for the Southern Guinea Savannah.
The Institute is also ready to provide further guide to any farmer on the variety developed for a particular ecologic zone of the country, and the seeds are very accessible.
If you need them, there's no restriction. You just come to seed unit. I'm telling you the procedure. So you just come to seed units, pick a form, fill, pay, and then you go and pick your seeds.
The Agricultural Development Programs, ADPs, at the various states or the Federation have been working with IAR to make the seeds available. This is a synergy that must be strengthened by the various states.
Partner with a lot of organizations, other universities within and outside Nigeria, institutions like Eyed Pea, Research, and so many others, CIMIT. Of course, as I said, we have them at different levels. If it's about the issue of getting our farmers know what we have and getting them to assess, we have the ADPs.
IAR is tirelessly working in ensuring that all the research findings of the Institute are communicated to the farmers.
Other ways in which we share our results, agricultural research results, to the outside world is through attendance at conferences, at writing papers in journals. For example, the Institute has a journal known as Samaru Journal of Agriculture.
We also work with the private sector. And there's also the need to promote this private-public partnership thing. So there are other seed companies that also come to IAR, and then they also partner with us, and they also come for certain programs to conscientize them about what is on ground too.
In compliance with the directive of Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria to all agricultural research institutes to disseminate research findings to farmers through Agricultural Outreach Center, IAR also has adopted villages where technologies developed by the Institute are passed to farmers.
Because when the technology is designed,
For Professor Michael Musa, the adopted villages also avail the Institute the opportunity to interact with farmers and know their problems. Hence, farmers should not hesitate to make their problems known to the researchers.
my advice to farmers is that they should not give up wanting to try whatever has been given to them, most especially if that thing has been designed with their input. Because when the technology is designed with farmers' input, okay, based on farmers' identified problems and needs, then it will serve them. Farmers also have a right to be able to give the feedback, because it's their feedback that will help to improve these technologies to meet their needs.
In a nutshell, the essence of all these efforts is to ensure food security, improve the livelihoods of farmers, and the nation's economy at large.
Seeing is indeed believing. In the course of our efforts to contribute our quota to transforming agriculture in Nigeria, we took further steps to the hinterland and we came across Murtala Jibril, a farmer who is also conducting a trial of IAR seeds and farming systems on his farm. Let us hear from him next in our segment, Farmers Speak.
This is a test we are running to compare between our usual maize and the one provided for us by the Institute. This one is the one given to us by the Institute, while this one is our usual maize that we have been planting. There is huge difference between them because if you check this one, it has broader stem, while our usual maize has slim stem. Even the leaves of this one are better looking than our usual maize. This indicates that this one, supplied to us by the IAR, is more healthy.
Cowpea, also known as black-eyed peas, belongs to the family of legumes known as beans. It is a popular leguminous grain that serves as food for both humans and animals. As a crop, it is grown in the semi-arid tropics of Africa, Europe, Asia, Central and South America, and the United States. It is a drought-tolerant plant and performs well in different types of soil. Cowpea is a common staple in Africa and many parts of Europe for its protein content, which stands at an average of 25%. It also contains several vitamins and minerals. Cowpea is an important agricultural commodity among farmers in developing countries due to its adaptability, resistance to drought and erosion, as well as its ability to improve soil fertility when the roots are left to decay. The young leaves, immature pods, immature seeds, and mature dried seeds are eaten in whole by humans, while the stem, vines, and leaves serve as feed for animals. It can be cooked and eaten as beans meal, processed and eaten as bean cake, locally known as akara, or as beans pudding, also called moi moi. As at 2018, global production of cowpea was 7.4 million tons, with more than 90% produced in Africa. Nigeria is currently the world's largest producer of cowpea, accounting for almost half of the entire global production. As at 2018, the country produced about 3 million tons. A metric ton of cowpea sells for between $1,100 and $1,300 per metric ton.
Transforming agriculture in Nigeria is not the business of only the researchers and the government. It entails concerted efforts of every Nigerian to contribute his or her quota to take steps to adopt the findings of the researchers or support the dissemination of these findings to the farmers. Whichever way you can, support the development of the agricultural sector in Nigeria. Everyone will benefit in the long run. So join me again, same time, same station, to continue our support to the transformation agenda of the federal government to ensure food security and boost the nation's economy through agriculture. You can also follow us on our social media handles showing on your screen. Bye for now.